What's up, gang? I'm very portrait mode. We're trying out this new portrait mode thing. Oh, I didn't go live on Instagram. That's dumb. I need to do that. There we go. Okay. So we're trying out this new portrait mode thing that is available here on the StreamYard, which could be cool, right? Like it lets us. It's a little more native for your Instagram streaming, your TikToks, your and then YouTube live or YouTube vertical like this. So we're trying it out. We're gonna see how it goes. Um, but I am processing some comics right now, so I thought this is a perfect time where I'm not doing much anything important, and it's the middle of the afternoon. So who knows if you're doing anything important? But I thought this is the perfect time to come over here and like do this and try it out and see how it works, and kind of try and get a vibe for sort of how things look, how all of our graphics look, how all of that kind of stuff um, sort of play in this mode. So I'm processing a box of new books that I just picked up from a collection. Um, this first box is all Marvel. Uh, Alphabetically, it's F through New Avengers. So Fear Itself through New Avengers. Um, so like I'm going to be looking at some of the Fear Itself. I've got some cool, Matt Fraction, Mike Allred, Laura Allred, Fantastic Four, all kinds of stuff like that. So I'm going to be processing these books, getting them ready for a live sale later. And in the meantime, I'll be hanging out, chatting with you guys. So if you have comments or questions, just throw them in the chat. And I will do my best to answer them as quickly and succinctly as possible. In the meantime, I have to pull up the software that I use for pricing. I use primarily these days. I'm using Overstreet Access for most of this when I do it. When I have a big run, like I do of so much of this stuff, I'm actually using a different piece of software, Comics Price Guide, not to give me prices per se, but to like show me kind of where to look. They have a unlike your cool. Unlike your your maybe your key collector or some of those where the lists are more specific to secondary and aftermarket value. They do a better job, I think, over on Comics Price Guide of just going, hey, this is a book where a thing happens, right? And that is super helpful when you're doing this kind of work. If for no reason other than then I can tell the consumer, right? I can say to you later on, hey, this is a book where this thing happened. So we'll start with Fear Itself, Fearsome 4. So because this is a one shot, or no, this is not a one shot. This is a one of 4. So there's let me see if this collection has the other 4. It doesn't. Okay. So I'm treating it like a one shot. So instead of pulling it up in CPG, we come over here to the Overstreet Access app. By the way, this is not an ad for Overstreet Access. Like, I'm not in any way doing that. Like, they are not giving me money to talk about them. They did give me a free lifetime gold subscription, which is dope, and I really do appreciate that from them. And I like the fact that they're still around, despite all of the sort of mishigas and things that have happened this year with Marvel and all of that, or with Diamond and all of that. You know, Overstreet Access is still around. The Overstreet's Price Guide is still around. Now, ironically, I'm telling you all of this, and the app's not working right. I'm getting this screen as opposed to getting my scan the comic screen. So that kind of sucks. I'll work around this. I'm gonna try restarting my phone and see if that doesn't help. But in the meantime, we'll look it up somewhere else. Let's do this. Let's come over here and go to media assets. Weekends. A little bit. Sort of chatting, sort of into the void of nothing. Again, guys, if you have questions about how I process comics, how I, go through any of this stuff, how I look this stuff up, just let me know. Happy to answer that. Okay. So what I'm doing with this collection, because of the way I was able to buy this collection, rather than every book having necessarily to be bagged and boarded and put away, kind of stuff, and then let me take that down. There we go. We're not doing that right now. Anyway, I'm taking. I'm just looking up the each individual book, and if it's not a key or a minor key, I'm putting it back in the box. If it is a key or a minor key, then it gets bagged and boarded and marked with whatever it is. I should probably put together the second box. This is gonna be real fun to watch in this format. Watch me struggle, because instead of a comic short box, the local comic shop this morning sold me magazine-sized short boxes, which are harder to fold. Hold on one second, chat. All right, sorry about that, guys. I was just chatting real quick, answering questions. Okay. Okay. So again, we're processing books. We're into Marvel's Fear Itself. From I forget what year Fear Itself even came out. But that's just because I'm old and my memory is gone. So again, like, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, YouTube Vertical. or whatever this is. So if you have questions, just shoot them out there. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about this process, how I do this process, that kind of stuff. So this is the first book. Restarting my phone seemed to work. So now I'm scanning fear itself. Number one. And so like you take a picture of it and it shows you this while it searches. Sit tight, we're finding your comic, and then it pops up. And goes, okay. This variant of fear itself is worth this many dollars. And because it's not necessarily a key, it just goes back in the box, right? I mean, it doesn't take long to kind of sort out this kind of stuff. When you kind of know, or you kind of have a very specific plan here, for what you're looking for, right? All right, so now that I know, because I was able to look up the whole run of Fear itself, and none of them qualify for what I'm doing with this collection right now. The whole run goes into the box. Now, long term, I will take that Fear itself, because it is the whole run of Fear itself, 1 through 7, and I'll bag and board all that up, and I will bundle that into one bundle. And that will be available at conventions and things as like a set. So you could buy all of Fear itself in one place and you don't have to worry about it. So now we have Matt Fraction's FF #1. This is a part of the collection where he's got kind of a little bit of a lot of stuff. So this part will go a little bit slowly, or would go really slowly without Overstreet's access, without the ability to just scan covers and get an answer, right? So we just do that and keep chilling. Again, guys, like I see new people popping in and out. If you have questions, hit me up. I'm happy to answer them. Talk about processing comics, talk about comics in general, talk about what's going on. Tonight at 8:30, I will be doing a live sale, filling in for our pals, the Geek Chat, who are taking a week off this week. And I have special guest Blake from Blake's Buzz joining me as I look up Giant Size Invaders. Does anybody remember this book? I remember when this came out. It's Roy Thomas and Lee Weeks. But it was an all-new story that felt old. Right? It's got that old-style Lee Weeks art. Jay, you didn't have any questions. You were just going to lurk. I got it. Like I said, we're trying this format video today. Here on YouTube Vertical. I think that's what it's called. And over on Instagram, while I process these books. Kind of figuring out what I have for tonight's show or not. But yeah, Blake's Buzz. Blake Morgan from Blake's Buzz will be joining me tonight as my guest host. I love bringing new folks into this live selling thing. Blake's never done a live sale. Well, I don't know, he's never done a live sale, but he's never done a live sale with me. And Jay in the comments on YouTube can tell you that is not necessarily the world's easiest gig. It's not hard. I do most of the talking, but like it's sometimes a little bit of a challenge. It's sometimes a little bit of an interesting situation. And selling comics is such a variable experience because nobody sells comics the same way. Like, I don't sell comics the same way Miss Jen sells comics the same way. Literally anybody else sells comics, right? So, because just every seller is different. So, like, my process and the way I host a show is very different to the way, say, again, Henri here on The Experience or Jen King or Nancy McCann host a show. So I tend to be more of a chaos monster, whereas they tend to like have a plan and do stuff according to a plan. A lot of times I'm making it up as I go, and I'm just throwing ideas in the private chat going, Jay, what do you think? Okay. We're going to try and scan this book again. I think the glare from the lights maybe messed it up a little bit. So we're going to try that again. Last night was fun talk. It was a little bit, Jay, it was a little bit of a slow show. I didn't sell that much. But again, like, for me, these live sales aren't always about selling a whole bunch of stuff, right? A lot of times they're just about community and chatting and the hangout. And again, like, me and Brainy haven't got to do a live stream together in like a long time. So having Brainy come on to talk about what for both of us was kind of a heyday of our retail career, right? Like New 52 era Batman, New 52 era and then Rebirth, and then all of that kind of stuff was nice, because those were the days when, like, we those were the days when we were at our most active, when I was reading the most. So, you know, it was. Did my camera just cut out? Interesting. Hold, please. All right, I'm back. As things go, that was quite strange. Some internet problems, some video connectivity problems. I don't know what was the cause there, but that was quite strange. All right, so one of the things that I've learned processing these books, right, is like sometimes you have a variant. and like the apps, especially the scanners, struggle to find them because they're homages to other books. So you have to go a little deeper to look them up. So like this is the D cover of Godzilla versus Hulk from like this year, right? And the apps struggled to find it. So I had to kind of go about it the long way and sort it out that way. So, those are just some things that sometimes when you're processing comics, you like have to kind of fight with. And it gets a little annoying at times, if I'm being totally honest. Because it slows you down, right? And as much as you don't want to, time is not super pressing, right? But you don't want to get slowed down on this stuff. You want to keep moving. Because, when you've got a whole box of books to do, the longer you, for lack of a better term, futz around with one series or one title, the longer it takes you, and technically the more the books cost. So, because your time processing comics is not free. So you kind of play this game of the faster I can do this, the cheaper the books remain. What's up, Kenneth? Just like I said, I'm processing. I've got a short box here of books that I'm trying to get through. And we're just kind of talking and chatting. So again, if you have questions about how I process books or about valuing comics or that kind of stuff, just shout them out, put them in the chat. I'm happy to answer them. Again, today we're using kind of a two-pronged approach. Where I am using Comics Price Guide, which is a very strong database of comics. They're a very strong database to sort of let me know which comics qualify for what I'm bagging and boarding tonight, right? Everything's going to stay loose in this collection. For now, sets will be eventually put together, but everything's going to stay loose for now. And then as we go through it, if we find keys or minor keys, we're going to pull and bag and board those. Number you 8. Okay, let me do this here. All right. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So it's a two-pronged approach, right? It's using the database of Comics Price Guide to tell me what qualifies for my keys and minor keys. Then Overstreet's Access to tell me what those books, those keys and minor keys, are worth. And again, the idea of using the two-fold approach means that, one, I'm getting a much better representation of what is in each series. I'm not reliant on specifically like a key collector style database where a lot of what they consider keys is based on secondary value. My list is based on content. I don't care if a key is worth cover price or more, like is worth the same as cover price. I want to know what's in the book, because then again, when I talk to you guys as consumers, or I talk to somebody at a convention or whatever, I can say to them, hey, that's this, right? Or that's this appearance, or here's why this book matters. I will say this, the person who collected these books was a fan of Jeff Parker. They have all the Jeff Parker stuff, one-shots. If Jeff Parker, well, in this case, Jeff Parker wrote one issue of Hulk, and they have it. So we just are checking it to make sure it's nothing, you know. Make sure it's not, you know, a key. And then once we know that, we know whether it goes in the box or it gets bagged and boarded and priced out. All right. Ed Brubaker, Matt Fraction, David Aja, all working on the same book. Tell me, you can't tell me that this book wasn't awful. But I don't think enough people read it. Anybody know what book Matt Fraction, Ed Brubaker, and David Aja all worked on together? Immortal Iron Fist. All right. Full run of Immortal Iron Fist stuff, including the annuals, so that's pretty good. And like the one-shots and all of that was associated with that series. So that's pretty good. Again, at the moment, none of them really apply to what we're trying to do here. Jonathan Hickman's Imperial. Federico Vincenti. Or Vincentini, sorry. On the art. It's a real recent book. Alright. We're all the way up to Infamous Iron Man, which was a fun run. a fun series where Tony Stark first became a character that you know called Doctor Doom. But I don't think it's the series that they're going to be using for the film. But I don't know, actually. Jay, are you still here? Do you know? Okay. So, is this what they're using to make the movie? So this is a book that qualifies as a key from this series. It's not really a major key, it's kind of a minor key from the series, but it counts. This is the first appearance of AI Tony Stark. So what I do for Infamous Iron Man, is this what they're using to make the forthcoming movie? So what I do when I find a book that qualifies, right, I put it in a bag and board, and then I take a Sharpie and I write across the top, first appearance, AI Tony Stark. So now I have my note. So now I can go to, I can figure out kind of what it's worth based on its grade. And I write the price that I'm going to charge for it on the back of the bag and board. So that when it comes up in the show, right, I don't have to right, I don't have to play like a game of what is this? Let me look it up again. I can just kind of go with it. Right, but there was one specific series they referenced, and I just can't remember what it is. I think it might have been this one. All right. More Jonathan Hickman. Jonathan Hickman's Inferno. This is the more current one. 4-issue miniseries. Okay. Hmm. Hey, more Jonathan Hickman. This is Jonathan Hickman's Infinity. Adam Kubert did covers on this series, but the interior art was Jim Chung and Rags Morales. I think it was Rags Morales. Hold on. The Marvel Comics event, Shocker Shocks. Let's find out. Mark Morales. Right. All right. Invaders. There we go. Let's see. Oh, that is just the A cover. Okay. All right. This is some early Chip Zdarsky stuff. Like, I forget at what point Chipper took over on this. He might have started with it. You know what this is? Yeah, he wrote this whole run from like mid 2019 to 2020. All right. Keep going. Excuse me. All right. Okay. So there are technically two books in this series that qualify as keys. So we're going to pull those out, and then we're going to look at everything else. Just make sure we're not missing anything, like, because of what the keys are in this book, and because of how important this book was to Marvel Comics, there's things that maybe don't qualify as keys that are still important books. So, like, in this run, issue 7 is important. Well, does that mean that there's tie over into issue 8? There's not in this instance. And then issue 9 is important. Is there tie over into issue 10? Not really. So you just kind of look for is there anything else worth noting here? So, when I have time to order from somewhere, Jay, order in bulk. I'll order bags and boards and boxes from BCW. Today, though, I had a box that exploded when I was loading this collection up. It was an older box, and it just fell apart on me. So I needed a new box pretty quick. So I just went to an LCS and picked it up. Bags and boards, it's the same thing. Like, if I've got time on bags and boards, I will order them from somewhere because it's cheaper. And I'll be honest, I hate making bags and boards, so I'll order them pre-assembled. So again, I'm spending a little bit more money on the bags and boards themselves, but like, I'm saving myself a lot of time and energy putting them together, right? And again, every minute you spend processing a collection, especially if it's a collection that's going to be for sale, right? Like, if it's for myself, I don't care as much. But if it's a collection that's going to be for sale, every second you spend processing a collection, every second you spend taping the bag and board closed, every second you spend, whatever, raises the cost of your collection, raises the cost of the comic, right? So, like, a book that I paid 50 cents for, if I spend 10 minutes fighting with it, now all of a sudden I have to pay myself for that 10 minutes. And I know what my hourly rate is. I set, you obviously set your own hourly rate. So, you figure out what that costs, right? But so again, for me, a lot of the decisions I make and the way I do this is based on time and availability. How fast do I need things, and how important are those things? So today it was pretty important for me to go get 2 boxes, so I went to the local comic shop. It was pretty important for me to have bags and boards, so I went to the local comic shop. If I had more time, I definitely would have ordered them. There are some great, easy places to order supplies like that from in bulk. ECW is definitely one. But there are other companies that will do. Gemini does some stuff. I bought some boxes, I bought bags and boards from Gemini. When I can order bags and boards, I'm going to start ordering bags and boards from Gemini. I was really impressed with the quality of their bags and boards. I like BCW a lot. I've used BCW for years. I'm using BCW right now. But when I can, going forward, I will be ordering my bags and boards from Gemini. So here's an example of what would be a key, but it's only worth cover price. This is Iron Man #6 from 2012. This is the first appearance of Recorder 451. This is the second printing. Okay, well, it's just worth cover price, but it's still a key. So we still are bagging and boarding it today. And putting it and getting it taken care of, right? We're still noting what it is and putting it aside, because again, when you're doing live selling, you need to know what these books are, right? So this is First Cameo Recorder 451. So now the way I do things is probably a little different, and there's probably an easier way to do it. If I'm being totally honest with you, there's probably an easier way to indicate this, or to not indicate it at all. But when I am processing books, if I have books that are worth making notes of, but they're just cover price, right? They're not, they're not something that's going to be hugely collectible, or they're not, at least not at the moment. They're just going to be cover price. I take a little sticker. For this collection, I'm using purple. And I put a dot like this on the back of the book. So I know this is a key, but I also know that this is a cover price key. So generally, again, a cover price key means minor key. Again, I know people who do nothing. They'll make their notes on what their keys are or whatever, and just move on with their lives. Which probably smarter. And, I've been talking a lot about how every second you spend doing something is a second that costs you extra. But if I can sort of indicate to somebody, okay, this is what this book is, and it's just a minor key, it's just a cover price key, then it helps me to have spent the time and energy. Because now, again, we're doing some customer service work, right? So the dot is just an indicator to me that this is a book, it's a minor key, it's cover price. It's something that if somebody's bundling and wants a bunch, you can play with. Every little thing is an indicator of what my capability is on a book. This is number 7, First Full Recorder 451. And again, this is just a cover price key. This is nothing, this is not one of these, it's a $50 weird first appearance of a character nobody's ever heard of. No. Okay. So now we move on. We're going through a big Iron Man run here. Just a second, gang. There we go. What up, Nope? Just process and some comics, hanging out, answering questions if you have them about how I process comics, how I handle new collections, that kind of stuff. So feel free to throw questions in the chat if you have any. So now we move on to Christopher Cantwell's Iron Man, which came out 2 years ago, something like that. Okay, 5 years ago. Okay. So again, all I'm doing is I'm using the database here to tell me what for my purposes today are qualifying as keys or minor keys. And no, I don't. Mr. Nope asked, do I get a bulk discount when I send out a truckload on shipping? Nope. I still have to pay. Now, I do use a discount shipping site, don't get me wrong. But no, I still have to pay full price, or I still have to pay that price regardless of how much I send out. And I'll be honest, a lot of times the shipping is the biggest expense I have doing these live sales, right? Like, I can put bags and boards on books. I can spend time processing things. I can spend time planning things. The answer is neither. I have sticker paper that I run through a regular printer. It's a regular inkjet printer, and I run sticker paper through it. Because yeah, that's one of the things. That's like, we're talking about pennies here, really, right? When you get down to it, but like the amount of tape you use to tape a label on, well, like that adds up. You know, especially when you're shipping out 30 or 40 or 50 packages sometimes, right? Which I don't do as often as I used to, but I still do a lot of packages. Like this Monday was 11 boxes. Well, if I had taped every label kind of the way I would want to tape it, and the way, you know, I would expect someone to tape it if they were shipping to me, that's a couple bucks worth of tape over 11 packages. Tape not terribly expensive, but it's a couple of bucks worth of tape. So you find other workarounds, right? It's cheaper for me to buy sticker paper in bulk from Amazon than to print and tape anymore. And like, that's why I use priority flat rate shipping, right? It's why I use so much of those postal service boxes, because one, I know what the shipping rates are going to be, and two, those are free. They will bring them right to my door and set them down. Hold on. So they'll bring them right to me, and those are absolutely free in terms of boxes. Boxes aren't cheap. So you get your boxes for free from the postal service. Now you got to pay their shipping rate, right? Like, there are cheaper ways to send books. You can send them ground, you can send them other ways, but priority flat rate gets them there faster. You can ship up to 70 pounds at a time without having to pay for extra weight. There's a lot of stuff that you can do. If you use that, but it's not cheaper. Like, nope, I sent you your box of stuff, which was heavier than the box of stuff I sent to my Gasbowl. Same size box, so it's same shipping rate, but it makes invoicing easier and faster. Again, that's free packing. It's free packaging, so that works out all right. But I still have to pay their rates. I do use a discount postage service. So it's sometimes I'll get 25 or 30% off postal service rates, but other times I don't. It just really depends on their going thing. There are a couple that I use, and I usually kind of rate shop. Right now, Pirate Ship is the cheapest. But I've also used Shippo in the past. And like, if you invoice through PayPal, you can buy your postage through PayPal. On live sales, you can buy your postage through PayPal, and when you do that, like, that helps. That's got a discount or two. And since I do invoice through PayPal, like, sometimes I'll even look at that. But every little thing you can do to make your time and it really is. Pirate Ship, and then again, I like Shippo. I think that's a fun one too. But again, like, it's whatever, anything you can do when you're doing this stuff to kind of speed your time along, or to minimize, like, those peripheral costs, increase your profitability. And what I do, because again, I have a pretty light operation, right? Like, my day job is running the EXP. The selling comics is just something I do to make a little extra money here and there, and because I like comics. Okay. So for me, what I do with that extra profitability is I put that back into discount, right? So a lot of times the books I sell for $2, other people would have to sell for $3 to $5, because their overhead cost is a lot higher. So one of the things I talk to EXP shows about is tools that you can use to get your overhead costs down, which will then translate either into greater profits for you and your shop, or you can pass that on as savings to your buyer. All of those kind of things. Oh man. I do not remember this series. I thought Dennis Hopeless and Wando did a 4-part limited series, or a series of one shot. Okay, so Dennis Hopeless and Juan Doe did a 4-part limited series. And then there were a series of one-shots, one by Mike Carey and Greg Land, one by Robin Firth and Jonathan Hickman, one by it's Cahill and Gatos. I don't remember Cahill's first name. And then one by Charlie Houston and Klaus Janson, with art with inks by Ted McKeever, who I love. Legion of Monsters. I bet these would be popular. Okay. How am I supposed to tell here? Oh, okay. There we go. That, hold on, guys. I have to look at the scan of a cover very closely here. Because one is the difference between the direct market edition and the newsstand edition on a relatively modern book is very high. It's a $20 difference. So you got to make sure that you're pricing it correctly. Otherwise, you're ripping people off. And that's another thing that's super important for me not to do, right? So why is this an important book? I don't 100% know, but let's look it up. No information, just pricing, okay? There's some good Marvel horror in this collection. Unfortunately, well, or fortunately for you, as the consumer, none of it is terribly expensive. All right. Alex Ross. you have Marvel, 6-issue miniseries by Alex Ross in 2020. All right. Excuse me. So one of the other things I do just to make it easier on live shows that I don't think other people probably do, and they're probably smarter than me for not doing it. I alternate series spines in the box. So when I go into the box at the start of the live show, I just grab all of the spine, when I go into the box during a live show, I grab all the spines that are going one direction. And that helps me to, know that I've got everything that's kind of together, right? Marvel Comics 1000. So now I have to hunt because this is a variant. And there are a ton of variants for which variant this is. So again, it's one of those, like, sometimes when you're doing this stuff, you wind up having to slow down and really kind of get familiar with the book. But other times, like, you can go pretty quick, right? And sometimes you got to be careful because these big square bound books really fit tight in a bag and board. So here's a good example. This is Action Comics 1000. Not Action Comics 1000, Marvel Comics 1000. This is the collage variant, but the collage variant is actually vegan. There's no trade dress on the front. The only trade dress is on the very bottom of the back. When it's in a bag and a board, you can't really see it. So what I do is I make a note, right? This is the collage cover. It's a cover price book. It's $10. So I've got my note about what my book is, my price on my book, and this is indicating that that's cover price. So somebody's like, you marked that book up. No, I didn't. Cover price. But I also know now, because again, I've got all of that on the back there, easily accessible. When I go to show it to someone or whatever, I can talk about it with, pretty firm knowledge in what I've got, right? And what I'm asking. And so if they're like, hey, would you take $6 for this book? I can let them go, well, cover price is only 10. And I don't have to take it out. I don't have to handle it. I don't have to do any of that mess. And I can make a decision. If $6 is enough for me on that, then yeah, you take the money and you run. If it's not, well, then you go, can you give me 8? Okay. Oh, man. Some of y'all are going to love tonight's live show. There's going to be good. Jay, are you out there? Are you still out there? You spread the word. Good horror in the Marvel section tonight. Perhaps things drawn by a guy named Arthur Soydum. Do you know what that means? Spread the word. You know, Arthur Soydum, the master of the zombie. Okay, so this is a unique case, and I'll walk you guys through this whole thing, right? So this is a one-shot. There's an A and a B. There's a direct market edition and a newsstand edition. Now, at the era that this came out in 2007, they were really good about just writing direct edition right above the barcode. But as you can see, this is the cover, but it also wraps around. It's also a it's a trifold. Like, I can't, without putting creases in the book, show you guys that. So it's a trifold one-shot, trifold cover, one-shot, wrap around. It's an homage to X-Men 1. So how do, again, so this is a great example of why we use the back of the bagging board, right? So I grab my Sharpie and I go, this is the prequel to series X-Men #1 homage trifold cover. So you just write it all on the back of there. Like, you got all this space, you might as well use it, right? And then you put the value. This was a book that new was $4. Now I'll just tell you, it's $5. So it's that kind of sort of the way you look at things, right? Like, using your space, using your tools, using your resources. Okay, scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. So, like, again, this is the part where, like, the way I normally do this, guys, like, if I'm not live, which I probably won't be for much longer, is I'll put a movie on the TV, or recently it's been D&D live play, and just kind of listen along while I'm working on this stuff. Just kind of keeping myself entertained and keeping this, light and easy. So, all right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna call it a day for the stream hangout. I wanted to get used to this. I want to try this shape, this format. If nobody has any question, next 5 minutes, we'll call it a day. That's over on Instagram. That's here on YouTube. If you have any questions about, again, how I process comics or comic processing or any of that kind of stuff, feel free to ask. Happy to answer as I work through this new collection for tonight's show. Should try to get the glare out of this picture. So. Sometimes it's hard. All right, so here's an example of one that is a little bit of a problem. Like, sometimes this, they don't know what stuff is called, right? Or they have an idea, that every app calls it something different, right? So you've got to kind of play the game of, what does this app call this thing? So when I search Marvel Zombies, what I know is Marvel Zombies 2, and what is actually called by Marvel Zombies 2, Overstreet is not calling Marvel Zombies 2. So when you scan it, it comes up. But then it says there's no associated storyline. So it's not like I can find the rest of the series easy. So now I have to go book by book in this particular series and look them up. Because these are collectible books. These are minor keys. So we've got to figure out, again, what they are, what they're worth. Okay, there we go. So it takes you a minute, right? Like to find the stuff. So this is a Civil War #1 homage. So, all right, guys. I'm gonna slog through these Marvel Zombies and get those ready for tonight's live show. I'm gonna keep working on this box. I may even get to. I have a box of DC over here. I may even get to, or I'm gonna try to get to before the show. We'll see what happens. I have to run Jen's show, so I don't know if I'll get to it or not. But tonight on my live show, where I'm filling in, for the Geek Chat, we'll be doing some of this Marvel box. So tune in. And maybe we'll re-show the keys from last night's DC box. So it's Marvel only? Probably not, but pretty heavily Marvel show tonight. So we will see everybody there tonight at 8:30 Eastern on the EXP. And we'll see you next time.